Every helicopter has a signature. For Kamov, that signature is impossible to miss. Twin rotors spinning in opposite directions, no tail rotor in sight, and a design philosophy unlike any other. But how did one company create helicopters for warships, battlefields, rescue missions, and even firefighting? Let's trace the complete evolution of every major Kamov helicopter ever built. The first step was the Kamov Ka-08 Irkutyanin. Developed in the late 1940s, this tiny single-seat experimental helicopter was less a practical aircraft than a flying laboratory. Only a handful were built, but it successfully demonstrated that a coaxial rotor system could provide stable flight without a tail rotor. The Kamov Ka-08 proved Kamov's core concept worked and opened the door for more capable designs. That success led to the Kamov Ka-10, an improved observation helicopter intended primarily for the Soviet Navy. Although production remained limited, the aircraft showed that compact helicopters could safely operate from the decks of small naval vessels. It handled reconnaissance, communications, and observation duties while giving Soviet naval planners valuable operational experience with shipborne helicopters. Next came the Kamov Ka-15, the helicopter that truly launched Kamov into serial production. Entering service during the 1950s, it became the Soviet Navy's first widely produced coaxial helicopter. Despite its small size, it performed reconnaissance, liaison, search and rescue, and even early anti-submarine support missions. Its compact dimensions made it particularly well suited for destroyers and smaller warships, where deck space was extremely limited. Kamov soon expanded beyond military users with the Kamov Ka-19. Based on the Kamov Ka-15, this version introduced an enclosed passenger cabin that dramatically increased its usefulness. It served as an air ambulance, agricultural helicopter, light transport aircraft, and pilot trainer. While it lacked the combat role of its military counterparts, the Kamov Ka-18 demonstrated that Kamov's engineering approach also worked well in civilian aviation. The first major breakthrough was the Kamov Ka-25, known by NATO as the Hormone. Introduced during the 1960s, it became the Soviet Union's first purpose-built shipborne anti-submarine helicopter. Equipped with dipping sonar, radar, magnetic anomaly detection equipment, and lightweight torpedoes, the Kamov Ka-25 gave Soviet surface fleets a powerful tool for detecting and attacking enemy submarines beyond the range of onboard sensors. It operated extensively from cruisers, destroyers, and dedicated helicopter ships throughout the Cold War. While naval aviation remained the priority, Kamov also created one of its most unusual civilian aircraft, the Kamov Kr-26. Unlike most helicopters of its era, the Kamov Kr-26 featured interchangeable mission modules mounted behind the cockpit. Operators could quickly convert it between cargo transport, passenger service, agricultural spraying, medical evacuation, or forestry work. Twin piston engines and excellent hover stability made it a remarkably versatile utility helicopter, and it found customers both inside and outside the Soviet Union. Building on years of operational experience, Kamov introduced the Kamov Ka-27, NATO reporting name Helix. This aircraft represented a major leap forward in nearly every area. More powerful engines, greater endurance, improved avionics, and advanced anti-submarine systems allowed it to replace the aging Kamov Ka-25 across the Russian Navy. The Kamov Ka-27 also proved highly adaptable, serving in search and rescue, transport, and utility roles. Decades after its introduction, upgraded examples continue flying with several naval operators. Recognizing international demand, Kamov developed the Kamov Ka-28, an export version of the Kamov Ka-27. While tailored for foreign customers, it retained most of the original aircraft's anti-submarine capabilities, including sonar and torpedo-carrying equipment. Countries operating modern naval fleets adopted the helicopter to strengthen maritime patrol and submarine hunting missions, making it one of Kamov's most successful military exports. Another specialized derivative was the Kamov Kr-29, designed for amphibious assault operations. Instead of focusing on anti-submarine warfare, this helicopter transported Marines from ships directly to landing zones while also providing close fire support with rockets, cannons, and guided weapons. Its ability to combine troop transport with combat capability made it an important asset during naval landing operations. One of the most specialized examples is the Kamov K-31. Designed as an airborne early warning helicopter, it carries a large folding radar beneath its fuselage. Once airborne, the radar deploys to detect aircraft, helicopters, and incoming missiles far beyond the horizon visible to ships at sea. By extending the radar coverage of naval task groups, the Kamov Ka-31 significantly improves fleet situational awareness. Russia, India, and several other operators have employed the aircraft for maritime surveillance missions. The civilian counterpart to the naval Kamov Ka-27 became the Kamov Ka-32. Optimized for utility operations rather than combat, it gained an international reputation for heavy lifting, construction work, disaster relief, logging, and especially aerial firefighting. The stability provided by the coaxial rotor system allows precise hovering while carrying external loads, making the Kamov Ka-32 particularly effective in confined urban areas and mountainous terrain. An even more specialized version, the Kamov Ka-32 A11BC, was developed to meet international certification standards. It has been widely used for firefighting in cities, emergency rescue operations, infrastructure construction, and heavy cargo transport. Its reliability and lifting capability helped the aircraft find customers well beyond Russia, proving that Kamov's engineering philosophy had global appeal. Kamov eventually turned its attention to one of the most demanding missions in military aviation, the dedicated attack helicopter. While the Mil Design Bureau had already established itself with the Mi-24 and later the Mi-28, Kamov believed its coaxial rotor system could offer important advantages in combat. Better agility, the absence of a vulnerable tail rotor, and excellent performance while hovering made it an attractive platform for precision attack missions. The result was the Kamov Ka-50 Black Shark. Introduced during the late Soviet period, it stood apart from almost every other attack helicopter of its time. Instead of carrying a pilot and weapons operator, the Kamov Ka-50 relied on advanced avionics that allowed a single pilot to manage both flying and combat duties. It carried a powerful 30mm cannon, along with anti-tank guided missiles, rockets, and air-to-air weapons. Perhaps its most unusual feature was an operational ejection seat. Before the pilot could eject, explosive charges blasted away the rotor blades, creating a safe escape path, an extremely rare capability for any helicopter. Although only a limited number entered service, the Kamov Ka-50 demonstrated just how capable the coaxial design could be in combat. As technology improved, Kamov introduced upgraded versions known as the Kamov Ka-50N and Kamov Ka-50SH. These variants focused on night operations by adding thermal imaging, improved navigation systems, and enhanced targeting equipment. The upgrades allowed the helicopter to detect and engage targets in darkness and poor weather, addressing one of the original aircraft's biggest limitations. However, changing military requirements gradually shifted attention toward a two-seat configuration. That aircraft became the Kamov Ka-52 Alligator. Based on the Kamov Ka-50, it retained the same coaxial rotor system, but introduced a second crew member to improve battlefield awareness and reduce pilot workload during complex missions. The Kamov Ka-52 received upgraded radar, electronic warfare systems, modern sensors, and expanded weapon compatibility. It entered service with the Russian Aerospace forces and has been deployed in operations including Syria and, more recently, the war in Ukraine. Open-source analysts have visually confirmed multiple Kamov Ka-52 losses during the conflict, highlighting both the helicopter's frontline role and the increasing danger posed by modern air defense systems, portable missiles, and armed drones. Despite these losses, the aircraft remains one of Russia's most capable attack helicopters. Recognizing the need for a maritime version, Kamov also developed the Kamov Ka-52K Katran. This naval variant featured folding rotor blades and wings, corrosion-resistant materials, and reinforced landing gear for repeated operations aboard warships. Designed to support amphibious assault ships, the Kamov Ka-52K combines anti-ship, close air support, and reconnaissance capabilities while operating in challenging maritime environments. One such aircraft was the Kamov Ka-60 Kasatka. Unlike nearly every famous Kamov helicopter before it, the Kamov Ka-60 abandoned the traditional coaxial rotor arrangement and adopted a conventional tail rotor. Intended as a medium military transport and reconnaissance helicopter, it incorporated modern composite materials and updated avionics. Development delays, changing defense priorities, and funding challenges prevented the helicopter from achieving large-scale production, but it represented Kamov's willingness to explore alternative designs. Building on that project, Kamov created the Kamov Ka-52, a civilian version intended for commercial operators. Designed for offshore energy support, passenger transportation, emergency rescue, and cargo work, it features a modern glass cockpit and improved comfort compared with earlier Soviet-era helicopters. Although its production history has faced delays, the Kamov Ka-52 illustrates Kamov's continued effort to compete in the international civilian helicopter market. Kamov also explored unmanned aviation through the Kamov Ka-37, one of its earliest rotary-wing drone concepts. This compact unmanned helicopter was designed for reconnaissance, observation, and surveillance missions, where sending a crewed aircraft might be unnecessary or too risky. While experimental, it reflected growing interest in unmanned systems long before drones became common on modern battlefields. Another project that captured public attention was the Kamov Ka-58, a futuristic stealth attack helicopter concept revealed during the 1990s. Featuring angular surfaces, internal weapon concepts, and low observable styling, the aircraft appeared radically different from traditional helicopters. Despite widespread interest, it never advanced beyond concept illustrations and promotional material, remaining an example of what future military aviation might have looked like. Beyond these better-known projects, Kamov developed several other experimental aircraft that pushed engineering boundaries. The Kamov Ka-52 combined helicopter and fixed-wing technology in an attempt to achieve much higher speeds than conventional rotorcraft. Although technically impressive, it experienced serious technical problems and never entered operational service. Later concepts such as the Kamov Ka-35 surveillance platform and the high-speed Kamov Ka-90 demonstrated Kamov's continued interest in expanding the capabilities of rotary-wing aircraft, even if many remained research projects rather than operational machines. Looking across every major Kamov helicopter reveals a remarkably consistent design philosophy. From the tiny Kamov Ka-8 to the modern Kamov Ka-52, the coaxial rotor remained the defining feature. Eliminating the tail rotor reduced the helicopter's overall footprint, increased agility, improved hover performance, and made operations on crowded ship decks much safer. These advantages helped Kamov carve out a unique place in global helicopter development. Kamov aircraft have served with Russia, several former Soviet republics, India, China, and other international operators. They have flown anti-submarine patrols over open oceans, rescued civilians during natural disasters, transported troops, fought on modern battlefields, and lifted heavy equipment into places unreachable by ground vehicles. Few helicopter manufacturers have produced designs with such a wide range of specialized missions. From fragile experimental prototypes to advanced combat helicopters, Kamov built an aviation legacy unlike any other. Its coaxial rotor innovation reshaped naval helicopter design and continues to influence military and civilian aviation around the world.